turtlenecks. I love them. And I like them because they highlight my iceberg-hewn, sharp jaw. I've got this one in beige. I've got a white one, but what I don't have is the classic black turtleneck. However, I now have the fabric, and first order of business here is trimming out the various pattern pieces. Nothing really new here. I'm just using my basic pattern pieces, the front, the back, the arms. So while I trim these out, Casanova Corn, I hear you've been keeping busy. Think you got some stories for the people? Oh, I've got tales. I've got tales. As you two know, I've been online dating, and I've been having some fun with it. Like, there was this one girl that I matched with, and in her profile, she answered the question, "What are you legitimately bad at?" To which she replied with, "Drinking water." Quick thinking corn, I send a message. If there's one thing I can do, it's motivate people. And if I can motivate you to drink more water today than you did yesterday, playground rules, I get a date. I send something along the lines of, let's just have one sip of water. Let's just get started. It's not about winning awards early in the morning. No, you know what? Scrap that. Let's have half a sip of water. Come lunchtime, I send a second one. Checking in again. I'm sure we've had that half a sip. You know what? Probably a few sips. Probably even a couple gulps. Wonderful. We are ahead of the game, but now is no time to slack because we're reaching the darkest part of the day. The second half. The part where we have to dig deep to really try. At the end of the day, I check in a third time. Certainly we must be doing great. We made it through the hardest part. Congratulations. You drank more water today than you did yesterday, right? If you didn't succeed, it's important that we forgive ourselves. Hook, line, and sinker. I got her number. She added me on WhatsApp. And, well, you know, I do like WhatsApp because I got this voice memo feature, which means I can send a message and all the joys of a phone call without the pressure of a phone call. Send her a thoughtful little message, checking in on her, setting up the date. Guess what I hear back? No answer, just a text message. Great. See you then. Okay, I forgive you. I'll try this again. A second voice memo this time. A 2-word text. Ugh, I was uninspired. And it wasn't like it went bad. No. That would have actually been a good story. The worst part is it was, goodness gracious, she was boring. Honestly, I only went on the date because, well, I was so proud of my flirting game. So I've got my main body pieces now. Front and back. Got my 2 sleeves. And I'm making this out of just a standard, slightly thicker jersey fabric. But for the neck and the sleeves and around the waist, I've got a slightly more rigid rib knit fabric. So I need the neck to be, 6 times that by 2, that'll be 12. It also appears to be 6.5. But I need to double that up because I need to fold this rib knit over like that. And while I'm at it, I might as well do my waistband right to here, just like that. Draw this out. And, not to be forgotten, the cuffs, and those, I want to do 2 inches, so it'll be 4 plus a little bit, so let's say 5. Just like so. All right, that's the cuffs. I messed it up last week when I tried to demo the switching of threads. So let me see if I can get it right this week. Step 1, snip, put on the new one, tie the ends together, and voila, we just run the machine. The bottom 2 are through already. These threads, where it's tied, I can't actually make it go through the needle, so I just pull it a little bit further out, snip that off, rethread both of my needles. All right, come on, go through. Come on. Come on. The key is to lick it. And then that helps the threads go through easier, see? Pull the whole ensemble, run the machine one more time. Boom. Look at that. I'm going to start off right by the shoulders. I am top stitching along the shoulder here. I find it's important to always pre-pin the sleeves on because it's a bit of a delicate art making sure it's nice and evenly spread out because the shapes are so odd. Right, so we're a little short here, so pin the end and then walk everything back a little bit. Just pulling on the top ever so slightly. And then just attach these sleeves. And then along the top of the sleeve here is the one other place I'm going to top stitch for strength. All right. Seems I've run into a slight snag here. This rib knit for around the neck. There's no way this will stretch all the way around, but not all is lost. I think I can fix this. All right, so that's my extra strip that I'm going to add in. But then I'm going to take this other piece from earlier. I am going to reduce this down slightly. Pin on the one side. All right. Naturally fold in half like so. Let's do the test. Roll that inwards. Put my hand through. Pull this through. Take this whole enchilada. All right, everything's nicely lined up. So this is where I think I've been rather clever with my solution, is that I have beautifully lined up the seams with the top of the shoulders. So it looks like it's intentional that the neck has a two seams. You know? And then to finish this collar off, so it sits nice and flat, I'm gonna run a zigzag stitch along the bottom of the neck. Casanova Corn, you've got more war stories for the people, don't you? You entertain them. I'm gonna run the seams to close up the sides of this shirt, all right? Thanks. You know what I like about online dating? Everybody knows why they're there. But honestly, the success rate is single-digit numbers, and I'm being generous here. Like, for example, I start talking to this one woman here. She answers the question, where to find me at the party? Always at the food station. To which I reply with, and the app's messing up here, I'll meet you there. She responds with, I'll race you. In that case, 3, 2, 1, go. And our messages got longer. She's a wholesome woman. I like this about her. We start talking about planning a date. Boom. We get one locked in. But she gives me a fair warning. My sister's going to be giving birth soon. Look, I'm not new at this rodeo, so halfway through the week, I start talking to this other woman. The conversation's all right, a little music, a little tepid, but why not? Eventually, the conversation starts to get a little bit more serious. Turns out she's a wholesome woman, too. I like this about her. Then I ask her the question, what are you excited about? To which she replies with, what do you mean? It's an intentionally open-ended question. What do you care about? What do you think about? What's the first thing that comes to mind? She replies with, that's a loaded question and not one you discuss through an app. Ha ha ha. My gut reaction says, you know what? We got ourselves a date on our hands. But it had only been such a brief conversation, and I decided, you know what, let's chat online a little bit longer. And so I decide to answer the question myself. She replies with, wrong answer. The correct one was, hey, we should totally meet and discuss this. Should have trusted my gut. But then she responds with, I'm not the best at flirting. We're back on equal footing because now I respond with, wrong answer. There's no best way to flirt. Just be. Boom. Also, let's play by baseball rules, and I've got 2 strikes left. How's Friday evening? So, that possible date, now I replace with this one, come Friday. Hello, I think this is strike 1 for me. Long story short, I can't make it. I mean, probably not even single digit success rates around here. It's like 0.5%, 0.1% success rates. And speaking of canceling, I actually got to cancel on a woman here. It took her too long to get back to me. I've since decided to go have brunch with my friends. Conversation was very And then also, let's unmatch. All right. Back to you, sewing corn. All right, I think I have to be honest with myself. I'm not 100% satisfied with this collar. It's gets a little loose at the top here, you know? Oh well, it's okay. I forgive myself. If we may just talk a little bit of inside baseball. Black absorbs a lot of light, and so if I want my face to be decently exposed, it looks like this. But then I have to overexpose my shot if I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here, you know? Filmmaker struggles. Ooh. All right, then what I need to do is take off about 5/8 of an inch from here. All right. And then just right along that line. Fold it over. I think that works. Okay, you've seen me do this step already, the putting it together part. Bleep, 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 bleep. And boom. Collar's back on. First up, with the cuffs, I'm just going to connect them together, close them up. And I might as well do the same thing for the waistband while I'm at it. Fold them in half. Give them a nice pressing. And now finally, the big old waistband. Fold in half. So it turns out the length of my sleeve is just perfect for the finished length. So I'm just going to put the cuff right on the end there. And then just draw my line. And then trim a touch lower for some seam allowance. And the same goes for the bottom of the shirt. So draw that line across as well. And then make sure I don't get lazy at the end here and pin it in place. You know? And then I serge one last time to get all these bits and bobs on. And not to be forgotten, the waistband. For good measure, I'm going to press these seams just so they sit nice and flat. It certainly is snug going in over the head. around the neck. I think it's a pretty nice fit. It's snug without choking me, but sits around just right. You know what, actually, if I am being honest, the rib knit around the neck is quite thick, doubled up, plus folded over makes 4 layers of it. So it's quite rigid, but you know what? It's not overwhelming. It just sits nice and strong. The length for the arms, again, I think I finally dialed that in. If I'm wearing it out, is just at the perfect height, right along the sides here, not too high, not too low. I can bend over or back or get silly, and it doesn't come up showing my belly button. So let's say that I want to tuck it in. I think gives it just a little bit of added sophistication. The fabric, a little bit thicker, perfect for the winter time. Yeah, I'm happy with this. This is gonna be just a solid workhorse of a shirt. Let's say I'm going out with the guys, for example, and we're going to rah cheer on a team of some sort. Put on the baseball cap. Boom. Sports and stuff. Don Cornelio. Never caught out fashion-wise. Hold on. I'm looking to dress to impress. Put in one of my pocket squares. And just to finish it off. Come on. Come on. This is nice. This is a good look. I know. Maybe this is what I wear for date number 3 with that cutie that I took to the escape room.
That girl right there, wife, she gon' be my girlfriend. That girl right there, wife, she gon' be my girlfriend. I said that girl right there, wife, she gon' be my girlfriend. That girl right there, that girl, that matter of fact,